Scorpio, draw closer for a moment, as if you were leaning over the edge of the night to listen to what the stars are finally ready to tell you. Because 2026 is not arriving quietly for you. It is galloping in like a fire horse made of flame and prophecy. And if you are watching this, it is because some part of your soul already feels the ground beginning to shake beneath its hooves. The year ahead is not gentle background energy. It is a turning point. A year coded with wealth upgrades, fated encounters, relationship revelations, and a deep rewiring of your destiny. And the universe has chosen you, Scorpio, not to survive this shift, but to ride it. You are not a stranger to intensity. You were born for the kind of transformation that would terrify other signs. And the year of the Firehorse amplifies that truth in a way that can no longer be ignored. Imagine a wild, luminous horse racing through your chart, lighting up the places you've been afraid to touch. Your money stories, your patterns in love, your buried ambitions, your fear of truly being seen. That is the energy you are stepping into. The Firehorse doesn't ask politely. It breaks open stagnant doors, it burns away false stability, and it reveals what has always been meant for you, but required courage to claim. In 2026, the theme for you is simple and profound. You cannot stay where you were, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and still carry the soul you've become. The universe is not punishing you, it is promoting you, and promotions rarely come wrapped in comfort. Early in the year, you may feel an inner restlessness you can't explain, as if the life you are currently living suddenly feels 2 sizes too small. The jobs, roles, or routines that once felt good enough will begin to itch at you, not because you are ungrateful, but because your spirit is outgrowing them. This is the Firehorse whispering, it's time to move. Opportunities around work and money may not fall in your lap as instant miracles, but they will begin to appear like glowing footsteps in the dark. A new lead, a conversation that opens a door, an unexpected offer, a sudden idea that refuses to leave you alone. Where 2025 might have tested your patience and resilience, 2026 asks, what will you do now that you know your strength? This is the year where your relationship with wealth is rewritten from survival to strategy, from fear to conscious partnership with the divine. If you've often felt like you work harder than most and receive less than you deserve, this year pushes you to stop repeating that pattern and to step into a different identity. The Scorpio, who knows their value, charges accordingly, negotiates without guilt, and no longer entertains situations where their time and energy are exploited. The Firehorse is restless. It does not stay tethered in spaces that do not appreciate its power, and neither should you. Some of you will be guided to restructure your work, start something on the side, raise your prices, ask for a promotion, or walk away from dynamics that drain your spirit. These shifts may feel risky, but 2026 is not about gambling blindly. It is about aligning boldly. As you take these steps, you will notice how your inner world changes. Money becomes less of a monster and more of a mirror, reflecting how deeply you believe you are worthy of support. Scorpio, your wealth in 2026 is not only measured in currency, but in choices. How many choices you give yourself, how many options you allow, how often you say, "I am not stuck here," and mean it. While the Firehorse charges through your financial sector, it also sends sparks straight into your heart. In love and relationships, 2026 arrives like a lantern in a dimly lit room, revealing the truth of where you've been loved for your depth and where you've been tolerated for your loyalty. You are being asked to release patterns of emotional martyrdom, staying where you are unseen, explaining yourself to people who have no intention of understanding you, shrinking your intensity so others can feel comfortable. Those days are ending. In existing partnerships, the Firehorse energy offers both heat and purification. If a relationship has deep roots and real potential, the challenges you face together this year will not be punishment. They will be invitations to build something more honest. You may find yourselves having conversations you've avoided for years about needs, expectations, fears, future plans. At times, it might feel like pressure, like everything is suddenly too real. But this is how intimacy deepens. Not through pretending everything is fine, but through walking straight through the discomfort together. Relationships that are meant to grow with you will adapt, heal, and regenerate under this fire. They will come out more passionate and truthful than before. In connections built on pretense or imbalance, however, may begin to show their cracks. If someone only loves the idea of you, but not the reality of your evolving soul, this year will reveal it clearly. The Firehorse energy here is compassionate but unapologetic. It will not let you keep investing your precious heart into unfinished lessons disguised as love. If you are single, 2026 carries strong potential for magnetic new connections, but the emphasis is less on, will I find someone, and more on, am I ready to be met at the level of who I truly am now? You are likely to attract people who mirror your growth. Intense, soulful, spiritually curious, ambitious in their own right. Some may arrive with a sense of déjà vu, as if you've known them before. Not every connection is meant to be lifelong, but many will be catalyzing, helping you understand what kind of love feels like home, not a battlefield. Pay attention to who sees your vulnerability as sacred, not as something to control. In the realm of destiny and life path, the year of the Firehorse acts like a cosmic accelerator. You may feel your spiritual life intensify in 2026. More signs, more synchronicities, more vivid dreams, more moments of uncanny alignment where you think of something and the universe responds almost immediately. This is not magic in the superficial sense. It is resonance. The more you live in integrity with what your soul already knows, the faster reality rearranges itself to match. There may be moments this year where life asks you to choose between the old, familiar route and the new, uncomfortable but deeply aligned path. The old path will offer you predictability, but it will drain your spirit over time. The new path will ask for courage and faith, but it will awaken a part of you that has been asleep for years. The Firehorse is on the side of your becoming, not your comfort. It pushes you toward work that lights you up instead of slowly numbing you, relationships that encourage your healing instead of keeping you stuck in loops, environments that stimulate your growth instead of feeding your self-doubt. Some Scorpios may feel drawn to new areas of study, travel, spiritual practices, or creative projects that feel random at first. But everything you are magnetized to in 2026 has a thread that leads back to your larger purpose. Trust what fascinates you. Trust what keeps inviting you back. On a practical level, your career trajectory this year may resemble a steep climb rather than a smooth, flat road. The first part of the year might feel like you're preparing the ground, planning, learning, adjusting, building foundations. As the months unfold, the energy grows more supportive for visible progress. Promotions, recognition, new roles, or expansion in your own business become more likely when you've been consistent and intentional behind the scenes. For those in business or self-employment, 2026 asks you to upgrade your systems, your mindset, and your standards. The Firehorse loves momentum, but not chaos. It will push you to organize what you have so that what you're calling in has a stable place to land. You may be guided to refine your offers, clarify your message, stop undercharging, or seek strategic collaborations that multiply your impact. At times, competition or external pressure may intensify, but rather than seeing this as a threat, you are being trained to see it as sharpening. What truly belongs to you energetically cannot be taken, and what is not yours will naturally fall away, clearing space for the next right opportunity. Emotionally and spiritually, 2026 is also a year of deep healing integration for you. After years of cycling through shadow work, endings and rebirths, this year asks you to actually live as the version of yourself you've been slowly becoming. It's one thing to heal in theory. It's another to make daily choices that reflect that healing. You may notice you are less reactive, slower to absorb other people's chaos, more selective with your energy. Loneliness that once felt crushing begins to feel more like sacred solitude. Old wounds may still echo, but they no longer dictate your decisions. There will be moments where you see your past self in the distance and realize, with a quiet sense of awe, I don't live there anymore. That recognition is not loud, but it is holy. The Firehorse does not ask you to deny your scars. It asks you to ride forward with them as proof of your courage. As you move through this year, consider this message not as a fixed script, but as one possible path laid out in starlight. Every choice you make in 2026 shapes how this prophecy lands in your life. Think of this narrative as a reflective pool. When you look into it, what you see is not a command from the universe, but a story charged with symbols, patterns, and potentials. It is like a tale told by the fire on a long night, one that may echo your own inner knowing. If something in these words stirs your intuition, makes you feel strangely seen, or wraps around your heart like recognition, you are invited to take what you need from it and let it guide you toward wiser, braver decisions. And if parts of this message do not resonate with your experience or beliefs, let them pass gently, like constellations drifting out of view, because not every vision is meant for every soul, and astrology, tarot, and spiritual storytelling are lenses, not absolute guarantees, not financial or professional instructions, and never a replacement for grounded wisdom, personal responsibility, or expert advice where it is needed. This is a spiritual reflection, a thought experiment for your soul, not a promise written in stone, and you remain the author of your actions, the one who chooses how to respond to the energies moving through your life. Scorpio, as the Firehorse year unfolds, remember that your greatest power is not in predicting every twist of fate, but in meeting each moment with the depth, courage, and honesty that already live inside you. Your wealth in 2026 is not just the money that flows to you, but the freedom you allow yourself to claim. Your love life is not just about who stays or leaves, but about how fiercely you honor your own heart. Your destiny is not a distant point on the horizon. It is every aligned choice you make today, every time you say yes to what feels true and no to what drains your light. You are not just walking into another year, you are riding into a new frequency, one built for a Scorpio who is no longer content with half-truths, half-effort, or half-love. So breathe in, Feel the heat of this prophecy in your chest, and if your spirit is whispering, "This is my year," claim it in your own way, through your intentions, your actions, your prayers, and your refusal to abandon yourself. The Firehorse is already running. The question is not whether it has chosen you, but whether you will choose to rise and ride alongside it into a 2026 where your wealth, your love, and your destiny are not accidents, but conscious expressions of the soul you've always been becoming.